Well, good morning. It's Saturday, the 17th of February from a wintry New York. It's actually beautiful here. There's a little light snow. Let's take a look at what's been happening in asset class this week. Well, despite the wintry conditions here, I think there's a general thaw in the market, if you'll forgive the pun. This first couple of weeks of February have been amongst the busiest we've seen in probably the last year. I like to think that as a provider of platforms to the private equity and venture capital sector that we get early signs, I guess leading indicators of return in the market, and we're definitely seeing that. There are quite a few new commercial real estate funds that we're launching on the platform with our clients. Definitely some distress based funds. A lot of activity in Europe right now, which is great to see. And so, I'm very cautiously optimistic that there is a return here. Clearly, the market is bullish, as I mentioned in recent weeks. That continues, and it's great to see. So it's been an extremely busy week, actually busy month so far here at Asset Class, and long may it continue. Yeah, the other thing that's been very noticeable in recent weeks is the uptick in venture capital deals. Lots of announcements. Clearly, a lot of work that's been done behind the scenes latter part of last year as things started to warm up a little bit. But it is noticeable the amount of announcements that are coming out in the last couple of weeks. Lots of venture deals happening, being announced. Great to see that uptick as well. So, yeah, between private equity and I guess the opportunity for those distressed assets, for a more realistic valuation setting in, the uptick in the market. I guess there is that AI bump, which is always good to see from the perspective of activity and investment. LPs are also getting a little bit restless, I feel, so wanted to get back in there, wanted to get that money to work, and so all of that is positive for the sector. And we're seeing that. We're seeing it in our platform and across our client base, and indeed our prospective client base, shaping up to be a really great Q1, which is refreshing to see. And speaking of the AI bump, we've been doing a lot of work internally at Asset Class looking at where AI can be applied across our platform. So lots of exciting developments there. Hopefully you'll see those come to market here in the coming months. Just a shout out to VC Labs. I participated in a webinar recently with them. I'll put a link in the post below. Some really interesting tools there that may be useful to you. I'll put a note there. There's a dozen or so tools, but we're looking at how we could potentially apply that technology ourselves across the platform. And as I say, in coming releases, we'll see that brought to bear. But I think application-wise, things like pitch deck analyzers, some really nice tools from companies like Perplexity.ai that we'd like to take a look at. Additionally, some tools for spreadsheet analysis, really just looking at contextually bringing some AI to bear to make jobs a little bit easier, whether you're an analyst, a GP, whether you're developing a thesis for an investment, etc., or just analyzing a lot of unstructured data. So very excited to dive into that and bring some of those solutions to market in the Asset Class platform here in coming releases. So yeah, that's been really exciting to begin those discussions and see how we can help make life a little bit easier for you guys. So one of the other thoughts that I had when I look at the venture market in particular and just look at what's happening there, I mentioned we've definitely seen an uptick. You see announcements from companies like IVP out of San Francisco, just announced their latest fund. I think it's somewhere in the $1.7 to $1.8 billion range. They're typically investing in Series B, Series C, and that's an indication in my mind of an increase in confidence. They do tend to raise every 3 years or so. I think their vintage was 18, 21, so 24 seems about right for them to raise their latest fund. It is slightly down on the last fund, which I think was just under the 2 billion mark. But what it does tell me is that there is renewed confidence in the venture capital raising sector. I think they're benefiting from the fact that valuations have come back to more normalized levels. I've seen data certainly in the last week that talks about Series C down. Valuations have come back about 35 to 39%, depending on your source of data. Series B back about 20 to 25%. Again, that's similar sort of range. So I think with that realism and the fact that LPs are looking for home, they're looking for yield, it's a great environment for people to get back into it. So yeah, another reason for perhaps some early confidence in a return of the sector. So that's it for another week. Hope you guys have a great one, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.